Aquarius Ascendant, Aquarius Rising, how you be? I'm glad you're here. Thank you for being here. I never take it for granted when people show up to watch a video, and I am very, very grateful. We're going to go over August, the first part of August. The first part of August, we have a full moon. The first part of August, we have Venus, we have Mercury, we have Pluto and Mercury talking. Then we're going to have Saturn and Mercury talking. We've got Mars and Jupiter. We've got all these things happening. And we're going to find out what areas of your life these things are occurring. Where is there going to be an ecliptic energy occurring and the degree that it's at and the location of it for you, what area of your life and who's involved. We're going to go over all this. I'm going to give you five things that we're going to discuss on the who's, the how's, the when's, and what it's all going to look like. What are the energies? What are the personalities, right? Planets have personality. When we understand that, when we accept that, then we realize these are emanations, these are frequencies, these are possibilities of how things can be, how they can express. That is what this is. So Aquarius, the full moon, by the way, is in your sign, which means you're going to have a full moon and it has a lot to do with you. The question is, what the heck is it going to be about? Aquarius, you ready? So we will begin at the butt end of July and the very beginning of August. What is occurring is we have Mercury and Pluto. They are having a conversation. Mercury's down at one end, Pluto's at the other. So Pluto's in the Capricorn energy. So this Capricorn energy is in your 12th house, and the 12th house energy, where all the Capricorn stuff's been going on, is this kind of hidden element of your life. The 12th house is the unseen. It's people from my past. It's also foreign lands, foreign places, foreign countries, but really far, far away, right? Like on the other side. 12th house energy is these very long journeys. It's so long that they're journeys out of the body, because the 12th house is when I'm asleep. It's my dream world. The 12th house energy has so much to do with past life events, past life individuals. And if you don't like past life, family lineage. It's, you know, it's like my mom's family, her parents' parents type of stuff. But 12th house energy, when it's taken to a really high level, it's Christ consciousness energy. It's this, we are all one. What I do to one, I do to another, right? What I do to you, I do to me. What I do to myself, I do to somebody else. It's that understanding of the connectivity. It's a Piscean energy. Piscean energy, it's in the water, so there's this element of high levels of sensitivity. You have Capricorn energy there, so you're taking the tangible world, which is Capricorn, it's my physical, my 3D, what I can see, tangible world, and putting it in the dream world. Putting it in a place, in a house placement of, hey, I can't see that. What's going on back there? Like, where's my hand? I see the arm. Where's the hand? Where did it go? Like, that's the 12th house. It's like the unseen. Sometimes, if you have Capricorn there are people, depending upon if you have planets there as well, there are people who their job, their ambitions, their goals are unseen. They don't know what they are. They're kind of hidden from them. It takes a lot of life and a lot of experiences and a lot of living for those to be revealed to them, for their purpose, in a sense. A lot of people connect their drive and their goals, their ambitions, what they want to aspire to be like. A lot of people connect that to their purpose, why I came to be. So when we take a look at Pluto being in that location, Pluto's very deep, and it goes so deep that it's all about soul energy, the soul's energy, the soul's hidden goals for you in this lifetime. Yes, this is G going a bit deep, but that's what Pluto is all about. Pluto is the phoenix rising from the ashes and taking flight. Pluto's all about the death to old ways of being. So the soul in that 12th house placement and it being in Capricorn energy is all about psychologically the way you thought about the material, tangible world. That would have been people in government, that would have been big business. These were thinkings, thoughts, and beliefs, your psychology that was totally hidden from you. And understanding that there's events that have occurred recently, 2020, to be more specific, 2020 has brought up events that you were unaware of in your ways of thinking, in your ways of believing, in your deep psychology, right? Emotional things that literally exist within your being. You were not aware of certain things. And so when Pluto is there, it brings them to the surface. That because Pluto resides below the surface. It's under all the water, under all the muck that's under all the water. There's Pluto at the depths of all of that. And so Pluto is the psyche, and it comes up to the top, and it floats up when it gets through this area of your life, and it makes contact, and it has conversations, and it's having a conversation with the planet Mercury. So Pluto is bringing to the surface deep psychology, things that were hidden from you, and it's talking to Mercury, and Mercury is thinking, relating, communicating. So Mercury and Pluto together means that which is hidden is brought to the surface. Mercury is the messenger of the gods, so to speak, right? If you don't like that, just understand that Mercury is getting downloads from the universe, bringing information in to our little minds, to us. Mercury is contacting us and saying, hey, did you ever think of this? God, where'd that come from? That is such a crazy thought. But that's so cool. Like, God, I would like to try that. Or, really, I had no idea. Is that possible? Like, that's Mercury. It's this out of the box, very witty, very quick, very creative way of being and thinking and adaptable. That's Mercury. Moves so fast. It's adaptable. So Mercury and Pluto together make this communication, this like round table type of talk where there's, did you know this was going on? Right? That's what Mercury and Pluto are doing. Mercury's talking to deep Pluto and saying, Pluto is saying, I don't know how to tell you this, but this is what's been happening. Now, where's Mercury in your chart? I already explained that Pluto was in your 12th house of the hidden, of dreams. So pay attention to your dreams. Now, you're going to be doing this, right? This is all the butt end of July and going into the beginning of August, but that's not all. There's more that's going to be happening, all right? So when I look at where your Mercury energy is in your chart, your Mercury energy is in your 6th house. So this is health routines, health and hygiene routines, work routines, my literal job, my duties at my job. It's your day-to-day routines, and that includes work and health and hygiene. It can also include pets and animals being involved. But because you've got water in that location of your life, the 6th house represents our health, our vitality. Literally the state of our health. Having Cancer energy there, all right, because you have Cancer, like if you're Aquarius ascendant, having Cancer energy, you're very sensitive. You have to be very careful with people that you're around, because you will pick up on who they are and the kind of energy that they carry. Cancer energy is a sponge. That's what Cancer energy is. It's the sign of the empath. So you can pick up on other people and the way that they are in general, and it would affect your health. So you can pick up on it, and you may not be aware of it because it's Cancer energy in the 6th. It's not all about the thinking and the understanding. It's about what I feel, what I feel. Cancer is mom, nurturing, family, emotions, feminine energy. That's Cancer energy. And realizing that being in that 6th house, right? So if you have things for work that you do that require you to be compassionate and understanding and mother-like and nurturing, feminine, the powerful feminine traits and qualities of understanding, this would be great for you for a job. Like, this would be an area where you would excel. Now, obviously, these are general overall readings, so you would definitely want to talk to an astrologer. You know, would this work for me? Because there's a whole other things in a person's chart. By the way, this is a rising sign reading. This means this is an Aquarius, ascendant Aquarius, rising sign reading. It is not your birth date. If you want to have a more accurate understanding and a more accurate reading, comment your birth digits below, and I can find your rising sign for you, because your rising sign is dependent on your birth date, your birth time, your birth city, birth state. That's what your rising sign is dependent on, not just the birthday. Let's get into point number 4. Point number 4 is we're going to have Mars and Jupiter talking to each other, and they are going to be throwing stress and tension to each other. So this is right around the butt end of July and the beginning of August. So this is in that same mix of, oh my God, there's shocking information. There's information coming out about, you know, people in power, people in government, right? And so there's that coming out, and it's all has to do with your 12th house and your 6th house. So this could be abuses at your job, people who are in power at your job. Now we've got Jupiter and Mars having a conversation. And when Jupiter and Mars have this kind of a conversation, it normally means action that can be taken with your body. You can make a decision and take action. and it will be somehow a good luck. Not that it's a good luck, but it's beneficial action. It's like, wow, you did this and this happened, and it can end up being a good thing. But because it's a square, you have to make sure you're thinking it through before you take action. All right, because Mars with Jupiter, Mars is all about, let's just go, let's just do it. And Jupiter expands upon that. Jupiter has the ability to make that energy even stronger, right? To exaggerate it, to blow it up. There's more of a restraint on Jupiter right now because it's in Capricorn. So it's more of, I think that if we make decisions at this time, because there's some other things going on and I'll talk about it, we can have some beneficial things occur. Okay, so this is at the end of July and the beginning of August. Now, point number three is going to be the full moon. This is important, Aquarius, because it's your full moon. The full moon's in your sign. The full moon is at 11 degrees and 46 minutes of Aquarius. So a full moon is when we have the moon at one end and the sun at the other end. And the sun shoots a beam of energy, because that's what the sun does. It's our vitality, it's our energy. Shoots a beam of energy to the moon. So it raises our emotions because the moon is our emotions. That is what the moon is. Our emotions. It is all about nurturing empathy, understanding, right? I'm emotional, I want to cry. I already have people saying their thoughts seem and feel depressing. Well, is that a few days into August, all right, we're going to have Mercury and Saturn talking to each other. Mercury will literally be at 28 degrees in the sign of Cancer. Saturn is at 28 degrees in Capricorn. What that is doing, this again is about your work. It's about your routines. It's about your day-to-day routines, right? Whatever your, the habits, the things you do at home, the habits, the things you do at work. Maybe every day you stop at a certain place to get something like a coffee and a bagel in the morning or something like whatever your daily routines are. Some people go and they work out every day. Anything that incorporates your daily routines. Also remember, the sixth house is animals, domestic pets and animals. So if there's routine involved with pets, this is also part of that. But there's emotions involved, right? Because we've got Mercury and Saturn opposing each other. And what happens is that Saturn is very serious, and Saturn sends beams of seriousness to our thinking, and it restricts our thinking. It restricts Mercury, right? Because Saturn is rules, and Saturn slows Mercury down. And Mercury likes to be fiery and moving fast, and Mercury's already slow in Cancer energy because it's in water. So it's not flying, it's already dragging. And when it gets hooked up with Saturn, its nose and lips could possibly go below the water line. All right, now knowing this in advance helps you to prepare, because you need to know if you feel more depressed. If people who have bouts of depression at this time, understand this is going to pass. This is not permanent. This will move because Mercury will move. Mercury's pretty fast. Even though it's in water, it will move. And by the 6th of the month, Mercury will move into the sign of Leo, and there will be a lightness in our thoughts. There will be more optimism. We'll see the sun in our mind. We will be the beam of light shining out. We will be more about, maybe it's time to start a gratitude journal. That means I just get up every morning and write down all the things I'm grateful for. Or at the end of the night before I go to sleep, what are you grateful for? Yes, you had a crappy day, right? But what are you grateful for? What happened in your day that you're grateful for? If we all take the time to focus in on that we can think of at least 2 things. I know I'm shaking everything. We could at least think of at least 2 things that happened during the day. I didn't get corona. I didn't get the virus. I didn't, my mom's alive and healthy. My siblings are good. You know what I mean? Like, there's 2 things we can think of. I'm alive. I'm healthy. I don't have it. I don't have the ugly butt, right? At least 2 things you can think of that are positive, that are optimistic, or that you're grateful for. At least 2 things. If you can think of more, great. On the 6th, from that day forward, you're going to be able to start incorporating positivity. Now, with that said, I have to go back to the 3rd of the full moon, because more seriousness happens around the 3rd. Because we have a full moon, our emotions will elevate, they escalate, and we get an aha. Something occurs. It's like the last straw type of thing, right? Like, okay, this happened in the past, this happened, and this happened. Remember, the moon represents the past, all right? It represents family. It represents mother energy. It represents nurturing and empathy. And feelings are elevated because the sun is sending a beam to them. The sun rejuvenates our emotions. Okay, and the emotions are all about of Aquarius. Now, Aquarian energy is about groups. It's how I am with people in general. That's Aquarius energy. So for you, your Aquarius energy is your body because it's in your first house. So Aquarian energy, being in groups, who I am in a group, how I exist in a group. I look like I'm a person who has lots of friends. The world thinks that I have tons of friends. Like people see you, if you're Aquarius Ascendant, Aquarius Rising, they're like, wow, man, that person's got a lot of friends. Or somebody looks at you, they don't even talk to you. They just look at you and think, like there's something about you where they're just like, wow, man. Like they're so unique and cool and out of the box, right? Like I bet you they got a lot of friends, right? There's something about yourself. There's something about yourself that's being illuminated. All right, there's something about yourself that you're going to get closure on. There's something about yourself where there's another piece of information that comes along at this time, and you're like, okay, and you have a better understanding. And that's a cool thing. At this time as well, we have a T-square set up, okay? So your moon is in your first house. It's all about you. It's all about Aquarius. At the opposite end of it is the sun that I spoke of. The sun is in the 7th house. This is your significant one-on-one relationships. These are people you're married to, people you're dating, but it's people that you are committed to, people that you are willing to compromise for. So anybody in your life that feels like that for you. Now, this is at the opposite of Aquarius is Leo energy. So these likely are people on the other side. It's your heart energy, people you feel like you really love, right? Now, the sun over there, the moon over there, there's a big T-square that's going to occur, right? Sun, moon, and then there's a planet up here, and it's the planet Uranus, the ruler of your ascendant, Uranus energy. I don't know why I just pointed at you. I'm sorry, I don't like the pointing. But Uranus energy is playing out in your 4th house because that's where you have Taurus at. Uranus is all about shocks and surprises, and oh my God, I didn't know that, and the awakener. Something happens and it wakes your shit up, right? It says, hey, pay attention, this is happening. So that's what Uranus does. And Uranus energy isn't a bad thing, but its job is to make you aware of something that you should have been aware of. So we're talking about we're talking about your significant one-on-one relationships, and we're talking about home. Now, your home energy is interesting because you've got Taurus there, okay? So Taurians give you a sense of peace. They have a sense of stability to them. There's a sense of feeling of home and peacefulness that you like, because for Taurians, that is what they're all about. They're ruled by Venus energy, so they want things to be peaceful and beautiful. Nature is a big deal. You know, being in nature, connecting with nature, it sets up this peacefulness within you. And so this would help you a lot. The Aquarian energy being there means that there's something that comes up that brings up a surprise. Surprise those 3 areas of your life. Now, it's a square energy. Square energy means it's likely going to be uncomfortable. It's not the surprise like, surprise, it's a birthday party type of surprise. It's more of like, surprise, oh no, you didn't. Like, it's one of those surprises, you know? It's not like, because it's a square. Now, does that mean it's bad? No, I know it doesn't sound good because it's a square. However, the squares are opportunities for growth. One of my absolute favorite UK astrologers, every square, she's like, oh, this is wonderful. It's a square coming. And it's like, okay, is she crazy? But it's one of those things where after it occurs, you realize down the road, like, wow, because that occurred, this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and I ended up doing this, and I ended up going there, and I ended up experiencing this over here, because all of this happened here. It's one of those things where you just have to go through it to get to there. And it's just one of those things. And now, if you don't have any planets 10, 11, or 12 degrees, then likely if an event occurs, it'll be very low key. It'll be more of you heard about this happening in somebody else's life and not so much yours. So it's not that this is me saying, oh my God, this is going to happen to you. You want to check your degrees. And if you don't know and you want to know, just comment your digits below and I can find out. I can pull up your chart for free for you. Like, I'm in this to share knowledge. I'm in this not just for me. I'm in this for we. I think people hear my offers and they think, I'm not doing that because she's going to charge me an arm and a leg. Not to find your rising sign, not to take a quick look and see if you have anything at these points. That takes me minutes. That's not a huge deal. I can do that for you. It's when I got to dive deep. When I got to dive deep, well, then that's when we got to work together, and that's a whole different thing. But this, no. This is me trying to help you to understand or trying to help you to see you have knowledge at your fingertips, and I want to get you to where you at least feel you know somebody you can talk to about it, right? And if that's me, great. And if it's not, if it's somebody else, great. But there's information here. If the universal language is here. You either are ready for it and you want to learn, or you want to begin that process, or you don't. Either one is fine. Either one is fine. Point number two. Number two, our thinking, our relating, our communicating, and our love. What we love, who we love. We've got Venus doing wonderful things. Venus is nurturing and loving myself and who I love, how I want to be loved. That's Venus energy. It's all about my ability to give, my ability to receive. Me, but you. So it's we. That's Venus energy. So it's beautiful. Venus is moving, right? We get to like the 6th and the 7th of the month. Venus is moving into the sign of Cancer. So Venus is empathy, understanding, loving, and nurturing, feminine qualities, traits, and characteristics. Venus takes all that on, right? Mom energy, love, unity, family, that humanity is my family. This happens, and this for you is happening in your 6th house. So who is your work family, right? This is all about that. You've got Cancer energy in your 6th house. Now, I also want to mention if 6th house is work, and when Venus is going into your 6th house, Venus also does represent our tangible material assets and our money. There could be lots of work coming your way, which of course means money. This is a beautiful thing, but we also have Mercury doing her cool thing, which I already mentioned earlier, which is Mercury becomes more optimistic. There's actually 2 nuggets I'm going to give you. I like to give you all 2 nuggets. I first want to point out the eclipse point. All right, this is an ecliptic full moon, I'm calling it, because that T-square I talked about, the moon, the sun, and the planet Uranus, and I told you that Uranus was going to be in your 4th house, right? A surprise there. But it could involve your 7th house because it's Uranus sending a beam of energy to your 7th house. It's Uranus sending a beam of energy to you yourself. It could be in any one of those areas. They've got this kind of a thing going on, right? And they're communicating, okay? And so in any areas of that life, depending upon if you have a planet there, something could occur that brings up a surprise and where you're like, okay, and that makes you decide, I'm done with that. That's how that works. Now, there is an eclipse point at between 10 and 11 degrees in the sign of Taurus in your home. You need to know this in advance because if you have a planet or if your cusp is at 10 or 11 or 12 degrees, this is going to make a big impact on your life. When something is in the home, and if it's an eclipse, that could be a new home. Could be a new home. Now, the eclipse point I'm talking about doesn't happen. This is an eclipse that happens in 2022. So you have plenty of time to plan. So I'm giving you the seed of knowledge right now. Put it in the ground. If you have a planet or a cusp line, like if your 4th house cusp line is anywhere, like we'll even say a 2-degree orb. So 9, 10, 11, 12-degree orb in Taurus. Uranus is there right now. And in 2 years' time, there's an eclipse at this point. So what that's telling me as an astrologer is that this is a foreshadow of events that are coming. This isn't a foreshadowing type of full moon we're having. You're putting closure on something, but you want to be careful that you do not create a new something that in essence is a lot like the current something. Does that make sense for you? Because this is what I'm hearing. You may end something thinking, okay, I'm not doing that anymore, but all of a sudden you create a new something and it ends up being, the only thing that's different are the people who are playing the parts. But in essence, it's the same story because 2 years from now, there's an eclipse at this point in the home. And when there's an eclipse in the home, that means you change the home. Usually, because it's Uranus, it's a big surprise. And typically, if it's an eclipse, it means you change the home. Either you move or someone that was in your home moves. With all that said, we're going to go to the back up a little bit more and give you the other nugget of knowledge, which is optimistic Mercury and fire in Leo, which is having fun. Use your Leo energy. Mercury is going to be in Leo, and it's only going to be for 14 days in August. 14 days in August, that's it. That's not a lot of time. Leo is creative energy. It is the divine creative fire. Use it. It has to do with your thinking. Leo will be totally giving your thoughts creative bursts of energy. Leo will be helping you to understand how to be more optimistic, how to incorporate affirmative thinking, how to revamp your self-talk, how to create a thought vault. Yes, I said that. A thought vault. V-A-U-L-T. Your thought vault means it is a place where you keep positive thoughts, so that when something bad happens or when someone says something that's not so positive, you know all you got to do is dip into your thought vault and pull that out. And automatically you give yourself the encouragement, because that's Leo. You give yourself the courage, because that's Leo. You give yourself the thoughts embracing. You give yourself the uplifting that you need to go on, to carry on. Because Leo energy is bravery, right? The brave lion. Leo energy is I am fearless. Leo energy is I can speak what I'm thinking. I am courageous. I will talk and I will stand up for myself. Leo with Mercury there is I am creative. And I will show my creativity. I will come up with new forms of creative expressing. This is how to be optimistic, how to be positive, how to use the Leo energy to burn away all of the negativity and all the self-doubt talk. Create your thought vault and use it to burn away all fear, all negativity, and be the fire. Represent and create using your fire.